Hey guys, it's V2 Vengeance, and today we are looking at a game sent in by Pagani Waira, and he is in his E75, the German tier 9 heavy tank, and probably the best tier 9 heavy tank right now. There might be a competition between this tank and the VK452B because, as I said a lot of times before, that thing has an insane frontal armor. But still, what it lacks is the mobility of the E75. The E75 is really a lot quicker than that thing. So, keeping in mind that, let's see what Pagani is up to. So, he's on Mirror Vanka. It's a tier 9 game. There are 4 tier 9s per team. And he's a top tier in an E75, and you're going to see how big of a wrestler this tank is. It can take so many shots and won't even give a fuck. And it's also going to dish out the damage a lot. This gun is really punchy. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a very good rate of fire, but it has a pretty good penetration, 246 millimeters, and an average damage of 490, so it's a punchy gun. It's not that accurate, it's fairly accurate, and overall it really suits the tank that it is placed on, because this gun is a brawling gun, and the E75 really is never going to be a sniping tank. So Lorraine coming out again, she shoots the Lorraine for 449 damage. Lorraine shots back and bounces. The 75 in a position like this is extremely strong, because the only place where you can penetrate an E75 frontally is the lower plate, which is very hard to penetrate, or the commander's cupola, and you really need to be very close or lucky to hit that, even with a high accuracy gun. So Pagani is moving forward, spots Super Pershing, puts a shot into the top of the Super Pershing, and doesn't look like there are a lot of guys here. There are a couple of guys over that house, 2 mediums on the flank. He wants to make a move, and wow, just look at this. Suddenly there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tanks here, and against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, against 7 of them, and some tank destroyers in the back that are probably shooting into what's left of the magic forest. And Pagani here is in a really strong position, because it's pretty hard for them to hit some of his weak points. He's the side of the Lorraine and doesn't have any problems penetrating, because the Lorraine has really crappy side armor, and I think the 75 overmatches that. Side of the Tiger, again another shot, so he's done pretty big amount of damage by now. Still no kills for any of the members in his team. King Tiger with the side, he shoots, but unfortunately he hits that column of the house, the pillar, I don't know how to call it, and gets tracked by the T-54. So you can see that until now he's dealt about probably 5,000 damage, not really, let's say about 4,000, and he took a couple of shots into him, but still none of those penetrated. So you can see really how strong the E75 is in close combat, especially if there is no artillery, because artillery really negates the armor of a tank. Because if a tank like the E75 here is fighting, the artillery just needs to concentrate on him, because he's going to probably be spotted non-stop and put him down. So still no damage taken and no kills. His team started making kills, but unfortunately they are losing the western flank. Actually the eastern flank he's on the western flank. They are losing the eastern flank, which is not very great. So they really need to make a push here, because if they don't make a push in time, they are going to get surrounded by those mediums on the eastern flank and die. So Pagani is again making a move, aiming at the super Pershing. Doesn't even aim for a weak spot, shoots at the front of the tank and penetrates, no problem, and keeps moving on. And there is actually his first kill of the game. He should have had a Top Gun by now. And enemy Tiger kills him, and I think he's the only one that did damage to the Tiger, because he shot that guy twice before. And let's see, an AMX 5100. How much is the E75 going to lose as far as health goes when fighting a tier 8 French autoloader? Looks like none, because as long as he keeps his front-ended AMX and keeps moving his tanks so that the AMX won't be able to hit his weak spot, the AMX really hasn't got a chance to penetrate him. Also, there is a T-54 shooting from behind without any real success. He bounced from the rear, I think, a couple of times, so the E75 has 120mm of rear armor, and angled against a gun of maybe a stock T-54, it doesn't have much of a chance to penetrate unless it's shooting flat on. T-69 again going around, and this is something you couldn't be able to do in a VKF-4502B. Killing all those tanks that go around you, managing to keep the front of them most of the time, because the VK turns very slowly, and compared to the E75, this E75 is really a racing car compared to that VK. So in a VK probably you would have been you would have had to stay a little bit back and keep the distance so they won't be able to go around you. You will be able to use your frontal armor to its fullest. So let's see, he has 4 kills and there are also 4 enemy tanks remaining. Let's see if he can make a Top Gun out of this game. T-5041 shoots him and leaves him on very low health. Probably the allied medium tank, yes. The T-54 managed to kill the T-69, and there are 3 enemy tanks and he needs to kill 2/3 of them in order to make a Top Gun. Also, the allied T-54 has 4 kills, so probably he had a good game, but certainly not as good as Pagani, because he did most of the damage his team has done the entire game. We're going to see that in the post-game stats, and you can also judge that by the fact that he fired this gun so many times. He only has 7 rounds of armor piercing left and hasn't fired any APCR or high explosive. He got spotted by someone in the bushes. Hit shell hits his side from an STA-1. He's aiming for the STA got hit. He fires, shell goes right in the middle, and there is his 5th kill. There is a Type 59 somewhere on the right, so he won't really be able to kill him, probably. Let's see, what does it happen to the T-59? And he dies, so there is his last chance to make a Top Gun. Enemy Panther 2, he shoots, he leaves him on 42 health and a number of life and everything, and he rams the Panther 2 to death, not losing any health and securing a Top Gun. So this was a pretty strong gameplay from the E75. Please nerf Pagani, and let's see some post-game stats. So he received 113,000 credits, scored a Top Gun, Steel Wall and High Caliber Medal, 17,000 WN8 in this exact battle, and let's see, 8,250 damage in a tier 9 heavy tank in a tier 9 game. Let's compare him to the T-54. He did more than 2.5 times the amount of damage the T-54 did, even though that guy had 5 kills. and fired 23 shots. 19 of those hit. All of them, it appears that they penetrated. Damage done, and 22 hits received. Damage blocked by armor 4,620. So you can see that the E75 really still got it, and I don't think this tank has ever been nerfed, and it's as strong as it ever was. Probably this is the highlight of the German tier, of the German heavy tanks overall, right now, as I see it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please think about rating it, and don't forget that I have a Facebook page that is, and there is a link about that in the description of the video. So thanks for watching, and have an absolutely awesome day.